You want to change your life? Then start by changing your morning. Not your job, not your city, not your relationship, your morning. Because how you start your day is how you build your destiny. Let me give you the rule. Simple, powerful, non-negotiable. No phone, no chaos. 1 hour. Just you, that's it. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. Because this one rule, if you live it, will separate who you are from who you could be. Let's break it down. You want to change your life? Then start by changing your morning. Not your job, not your relationship, not your city, your morning. Because the first hour of your day decides the next 23. It shapes your focus, your energy, your identity. Most people wake up and immediately hand over control of their life to the world. They scroll, they react, they consume. Their morning becomes chaos before their body even realizes it's awake. And then they wonder why they feel lost, drained, distracted. But what if instead you reclaim that hour? What if, before the noise, you built your own foundation? That's where the one rule comes in. No phone, no chaos. 1 hour. Hing changes. Suddenly, you're not rushing, you're leading. You're not surviving, you're creating. That 1 hour becomes your training ground for life. It becomes where you sharpen your vision, strengthen your mindset, and remind yourself of your power. Because when you spend the first hour of your day focused, grounded, intentional, no one, no challenge, no obstacle can shake you. You've already built your armor before stepping into the battlefield. This one rule might sound small, but no phone, no chaos, 1 hour, just you. But in that hour, you'll discover something extraordinary. You'll hear your own thoughts again. You'll reconnect with who you are beneath the noise. You'll realize that peace was never something you had to search for. It was waiting for you every morning, right before the world woke up. The first hour is your reset button, your reminder, your revolution. Protect it, own it, live it. Every great transformation starts in silence. Every powerful person you admire didn't just wake up successful. They built themselves one morning at a time. The discipline to control your first hour is the foundation of a powerful life. Because once you master your morning, you master your focus. And once you master your focus, you master everything. So tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, don't grab your phone, don't rush. Sit still, breathe, feel the power of choosing yourself first. Protect the first hour like it's gold, because it is. That's the hour your future is built. And if you do this, if you truly commit, your mornings won't just change. Your entire life will rise with the sun. Every single day begins with a question, what do I do first? Most people wake up and go straight into survival mode. Their thoughts rush to tasks, responsibilities, problems. They open their phones, check their emails, scroll through social media, and instantly feel behind before the day even begins. That's the trap. Because when you start your morning reacting to the world, you hand over your power. You become a passenger in your own life. But those who rise above, those who build extraordinary lives, they start differently. They start with intention. They don't ask, what do I need to do? They ask, and who do I want to be today? And that shift in focus from doing to being is where real transformation begins. Because your actions are only as powerful as the intention that drives them. When you wake up and define who you want to be before the world tells you who to become, you take back control. Intention gives your day direction. Without it, you move through life on autopilot. Busy, exhausted, but unfulfilled. Have you ever had a day where you checked every box, finished every task, but still felt empty? That's what happens when you chase tasks without purpose. You did everything right but went nowhere meaningful. Setting your intention each morning realigns your compass. It reminds you that your value isn't in how much you do. It's in the clarity behind why you do it. When you decide, today I choose to be calm, or today I choose to be bold, your mind starts working with you instead of against you. The energy of your day bends toward that decision. This isn't about pretending life is easy. It's about refusing to be controlled by it. Some days will be chaotic, full of noise and pressure. But even then, you get to decide how you show up. You can't control the world, but you can always control your energy. That's what intention gives you, choice. When you set it early, before anyone else has a say, you become the architect of your emotional state. You stop being reactive and start being responsive. You no longer wake up into someone else's storm. You wake up into your own power. And when you do that consistently, life stops happening unto you, it starts happening and for you. Let's be honest. Most people confuse goals with intention. A goal says, I want to lose 10 pounds. Intention says, I want to feel strong and capable in my body. A goal says, I want to make more money. Intention says, I want to build something that matters. The difference is depth. Goals give you direction, but intention gives you meaning. Without meaning, every achievement will feel hollow. That's why so many people reach their goals and still feel lost. They got what they wanted, but not what they needed. The truth is, goals are external, but intention is internal. And when your internal world is aligned, your external results follow effortlessly. That's why every morning, before diving into your schedule, you must ask yourself not what's next, but what matters. You can start small. Before you reach for your phone, sit up and breathe. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? What kind of energy do I want to give the world? Then set your intention with clarity. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's peace. Write it down, say it out loud, anchor it in your body. Throughout the day, remind yourself of it. The magic isn't in saying it once, it's in living it repeatedly. Every choice becomes a reflection of that intention. When a challenge appears, you don't panic, you remember who you chose to be. When someone tests your patience, you respond with strength, not emotion. That's how people who live intentionally move through life. They don't chase calm, they create it. And here's the truth. Most people never realize intention transforms everything it touches. It turns small moments into meaningful ones. A conversation becomes deeper. A task becomes purposeful. Even routine work starts to feel fulfilling. Why? Because you're no longer just doing, you're being. And that changes everything. Setting your intention each morning is not about controlling the outcome. It's about controlling your presence within it. It's about walking through every situation with awareness and choice instead of autopilot and reaction. The moment you begin your day with that mindset, you become unstoppable. You radiate clarity. You attract alignment. You stop searching for purpose because you're living it. This is the real secret to success. Not waking up earlier than everyone else, not grinding harder, not checking more boxes. It's waking up and deciding who you're going to be before the world decides it for you. That's where peace is found. That's where power is born. You can chase achievements your whole life, but without intention, they'll never feel enough. When you anchor your mornings in intention, everything you do after that becomes an expression of your truest self. You stop surviving days, you start shaping them. And when that becomes your habit, your energy shifts. You no longer wake up heavy, you wake up aligned, driven, calm, and certain. So, tomorrow morning, before you rush, pause. Before you react, breathe. Before you chase, decide. Don't just plan what you'll do, define who you'll be. Let that decision guide your steps, shape your words, and fuel your actions. Because when your day begins with intention, your life begins with meaning. Every sunrise becomes an invitation to choose the person you are becoming. And when you live from that place, focused, clear, intentional, your life will no longer just move forward. It will rise. Your body is the first tool life ever gave you. Before success, before ambition, before even words, you had movement. And yet, so many people forget that the body and the mind are not separate. They are partners in creation. When your body is stagnant, your thoughts become heavy. When your body moves, your spirit wakes up. That's why the third key is simple, but it changes everything. If you move your body, move your mind. It's not about building muscle or chasing a perfect shape. It's about building momentum. Because movement is energy, and energy is life. Every time you move in the morning, you tell your brain, I'm alive, I'm capable, I'm ready. That one decision transforms not just your day, but your entire mindset. Most people underestimate what happens when you start your morning with movement. They think it's about burning calories. It's not. It's about igniting focus. When your heart rate rises, your blood flows faster, oxygen floods your brain, and suddenly clarity kicks in. Your mind sharpens, that mental fog you wake up with, gone. Your ideas flow, your confidence builds, your emotions stabilize. Science backs it, but more importantly, experience proves it. Think of the times you've gone for a walk to clear your head, or stretched after sitting too long. The shift you feel isn't random, it's your biology resetting. When you move your body first thing in the morning, you give your mind permission to show up as its best self. It's not just exercise, it's activation. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. You don't need hours. You need intention and consistency. Maybe it's a run, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's dancing in your kitchen. Movement doesn't have to look perfect. It just has to be real. Because when you move, you're not only training your body, you're training your discipline. You're teaching yourself to do what's uncomfortable before the day even begins. You're telling your brain, can do hard things. That one message changes everything about how you face challenges. When you've already pushed through the resistance of your own laziness, every obstacle that follows feels smaller. You've already proven you can overcome yourself, and that's the hardest battle there is. But here's what most people miss. Movement isn't just physical, it's emotional. Every step, every stretch, every drop of sweat releases tension that words can't. It shakes off the weight of yesterday's stress, fear, and frustration. The body carries emotion long after the moment has passed. When you move, you let it go. You create space for new thoughts, new energy, new possibilities. That's why some of your best ideas come during a run, a walk, or while dancing alone to your favorite song. Movement clears the static, allowing creativity to flow freely. It's therapy without words, progress without pressure. Every morning you move, you remind yourself that growth doesn't always come from thinking. It comes from feeling alive. The world will always try to pull you into stillness, into sitting, waiting, doubting. Movement is rebellion against that. It's saying, Sin, I won't stay stuck. Because life is motion. The moment you stop moving in any area, physically, mentally, emotionally, you begin to decay. The most successful people in the world move not just their bodies, but their ideas, their energy, their mindset. They understand that energy must flow. And the best way to make it flow is to start with the one thing you can always control, your body. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can control whether you take that step, stretch that muscle, or take that breath. And when you do, you shift from victim to creator, from stuck to unstoppable. So tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you open your laptop, move. Don't wait until you feel like it, move until you do. Because motivation doesn't come first, movement does. That's how you create momentum. That's how you build energy that lasts. When you start your day with movement, your thoughts become lighter, your mood steadier, your goals clearer. You walk differently, think differently, and show up differently. That's the secret. You don't need a new life, you need a new rhythm. Move your body and your mind will follow. Move your mind and your life will expand. So when the sun rises tomorrow, rise with it. Step outside, stretch, breathe, feel the ground under your feet. And remember, you are not stuck, you are not small, you are not tired of life. Your body just needs to move. The moment you do, everything inside you wakes up. Your strength, your clarity, your fire, they've been waiting for you. Move your body and your mind will open doors you didn't even know existed. That's how you start not just a powerful morning, but a powerful life. What you feed your mind becomes your life. Every single thought you think, every word you read, every piece of content you consume, it all becomes the foundation of who you are becoming. The truth is, you are not just what you eat, you are what you absorb. Every morning your mind wakes up hungry, wide open and ready to receive. But most people feed it junk. They start their day with chaos. scrolling through news, comparing themselves on social media, diving into everyone else's life before even checking in with their own. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, scattered, and uninspired. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it first thing in the morning will grow throughout your day. If you plant fear, you'll see fear. If you plant strength, you'll live strength. That's why the fourth key matters, and feed your mind before the world does. When you wake up, you have a choice to let the world pour into you or to pour into yourself first. It sounds simple, but this choice determines everything about how you experience your day. Because when you give your energy to the outside world before you've filled yourself, you live reactively. You're always chasing calm instead of creating it. But when you begin your morning by feeding your mind intentionally, something shifts. You build mental armor. You set your emotional tone. You decide who you will be before the world decides it for you. This doesn't mean you need hours of meditation or endless journaling. It means choosing what your mind consumes with purpose. Read a few pages of something that uplifts you. Listen to a voice that inspires growth. Write one thought that centers you. The goal isn't perfection, it's direction. You're steering your thoughts toward empowerment instead of distraction. Think of your mind like a garden. If you don't tend it, weeds will grow automatically. Negativity, doubt, and insecurity will find their way in. But if you take even 10 minutes every morning to water it with wisdom, gratitude, or learning, you'll start seeing the difference. The world will still be loud, but it won't be able to shake you. The noise will still exist, but you'll be grounded in something deeper. That's the power of feeding your mind first. It gives you roots. You stop being tossed around by every headline, every comment, every problem. Instead, you respond with clarity. You move with intention. You stay centered no matter what chaos the day brings. That's not luck, that's training. Mental strength is not something you're born with. It's something you build, one morning at a time. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be intentional. Ask yourself each morning, what do I want my mind to reflect today? If you want peace, feed it peace. If you want confidence, feed it belief. If you want purpose, feed it meaning. It's easy to say you want to change your life, but change doesn't begin with doing more. It begins with thinking better. Because the quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your thoughts. Every successful person, every visionary, every leader, before they act, they think. They build their inner world so strong that no external noise can break them. The average person reacts, the powerful person prepares. They don't start their day waiting for inspiration, they create it through what they feed their mind. You see, your mind is your greatest asset, but also your greatest threat if you don't control it. It will believe whatever you repeat. It will magnify whatever you focus on. So when you wake up and immediately dive into everyone else's life online, your mind starts comparing, doubting, shrinking. But when you start your morning by nurturing it, reading something meaningful, listening to something empowering, writing something grateful, you give it a different message, and I am in control. I am growing, I am enough. That shift seems small, but it creates a ripple effect that changes everything. Because and your mind is fed with strength, your words change, your choices change, your energy changes, and soon your life changes. So tomorrow morning, before you let the world rush in, pause. Protect that sacred moment when your mind is most open. Don't hand it away so easily. Fill it with something that builds you, not breaks you. You don't need a full book or an hour-long podcast, just one piece of wisdom, one thought of gratitude, one reminder of who you are. That's enough to shift your vibration. Feed your mind before the world does, and watch how your life transforms. Because when your thoughts are nourished with truth and purpose, your entire reality begins to reflect it. You become calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and powerful in uncertainty. The world will still test you, but you'll be unshakable because your roots will be deep. So as the sun rises, make a promise to yourself before you scroll, before you speak, before you step into the noise. Feed your mind with strength. Give yourself words that uplift. ideas that challenge, and silence that restores. You are the guardian of your thoughts. You are the architect of your inner world. And the one who controls their mind controls their life. Feed your mind first, and the world will follow your lead. Silence. It's one of the rarest things in the modern world, yet it's the very place where every answer you've been searching for lives. We fill our lives with sound, notifications, music, conversations, endless noise. Because silence feels uncomfortable. It forces us to listen to the one voice most people are afraid to hear, their own. But silence isn't emptiness, it's full of wisdom, full of truth, full of clarity. The fifth key is not about doing more, it's about stopping long enough to be here, to let the noise of the world fade until what's left is the sound of your own intuition. Because when you stop running from silence, you stop running from yourself. And in that stillness, you find what you've been chasing all along, direction. Most people think they don't have clarity because life is complicated. The truth is, they don't have clarity because they never pause long enough to listen. Every moment of their day is filled with movement, distraction, and reaction. They jump from one task to another, one notification to the next, never realizing that the guidance they crave, the next step, the right decision, isn't out there, it's within. But the inner voice doesn't shout, it whispers. You have to quiet the world to hear it. That's why silence is so powerful. It's not about isolating yourself from life. It's about reconnecting to the source of your life, your mind, your heart, your purpose. The more time you spend in silence, the louder your truth becomes. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of awareness. It's the space where your mind stops racing and your soul starts speaking. When you sit quietly in the morning, even for 5 minutes, you're doing something radical in a world addicted to noise. You're choosing consciousness over chaos. You're creating a sacred space between thought and action, between reaction and intention. And in that space, you gain power. Because silence slows time. It gives you perspective. It reveals what actually matters and what doesn't. You start to realize that not every thought deserves attention, not every problem deserves panic, and not every opinion deserves response. Silence teaches you the art of discernment, the ability to see what's true, not just what's loud. It's in silence that you remember who you are when the world isn't telling you who to be. You strip away the layers, the expectations, the comparisons, the noise, and you reconnect with your core. That's why some of the greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders in history made silence a part of their daily routine. They knew that the human mind cannot create at its highest level if it's constantly reacting. Inspiration, intuition, and creativity are born in stillness. When you silence the external, the internal world comes alive. You begin to think differently. You start to see solutions that weren't visible before. You stop trying to force answers because silence reveals them naturally. You don't chase clarity, you come clarity. But let's be honest, silence isn't easy. It can feel uncomfortable, even painful at first. When you turn down the world's volume, the thoughts you've been avoiding rise to the surface. The regrets, the fears, the doubts, they all show up, but that's the point. Silence is where healing begins. You can't change what you refuse to face. When you sit in stillness, you're not avoiding your pain, you're meeting it. You're saying, I'm ready to understand, I'm ready to grow. That's strength, that's courage. The world tells you strength is noise, asserting, shouting, proving. But real strength is calm. It's the person who doesn't need to scream because their energy speaks louder than their words. Silence doesn't make you weak, it makes you unstoppable. So tomorrow morning, before the world wakes up, find your silence. Sit with yourself, even if it's just for a few minutes. Breathe, let the noise fade. Don't rush to fill the space, let it teach you. In that quiet, ask yourself the questions that truly matter. What do I need right now? What am I afraid to hear? What truth am I avoiding? Listen without judgment. The answers will come not as noise, but as knowing. And once you've heard them, you'll realize something profound. The peace you've been searching for has always been inside you, waiting for a moment of stillness to be seen. When the sun rises tomorrow, don't just wake up, listen up. Turn down the world's volume and tune into your own. Let silence become your power, your teacher, your compass. Because when you learn to be still, you stop chasing life, and life starts moving through you. The calm you create in silence becomes the strength you carry in chaos. And in a world that's always shouting, the one who masters silence commands the loudest voice of all. Every morning gives you a choice, to play small or to rise bold. Most people wake up and drift into their day. They move through routine, repeat yesterday, stay safe. But the ones who change their lives, the ones who build something extraordinary, they start each morning with courage. They do one thing that pushes them out of comfort, one act that reminds them of their strength. The sixth key is this: do one bold thing before 8 a.m. That single act, done consistently, rewires your mind. It tells your brain, I don't wait for permission, I create my own momentum. One boldness is not about arrogance, it's about choosing courage even when fear whispers louder. It's about realizing that every morning, before the world wakes up, you have a sacred window to build the kind of person you want to become. Think about it. How often do you wait? Wait for the perfect timing, for confidence, for clarity. The truth is, none of that shows up before action. It shows up because of action. Boldness is a habit, not a gift. It grows with use. Every time you take a step that scares you, your comfort zone stretches. You teach your mind to see possibility instead of danger. Fear doesn't disappear, but it starts losing its grip. That's why doing one bold thing each morning is so powerful. It trains you to act in the face of hesitation. It builds trust between you and yourself. When you know you can do hard things before breakfast, you stop doubting your ability to face what comes after. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry a quiet confidence that the world can feel. That bold thing doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't need to be life-altering or dramatic. It just needs to stretch you. Maybe it's sending that message you've been avoiding, making that phone call, taking the first step toward a dream that's been gathering dust, saying no to something that doesn't serve you, waking up an hour earlier to work on your passion. Whatever it is, it has to challenge you, because growth lives just beyond comfort. Too many people wait for courage to find them, but courage isn't a visitor, it's a muscle. And the only way to build it is to use it. That single bold act each morning becomes your mental workout for bravery. It builds resilience, self-respect, and momentum that no amount of motivation videos can replace. When you start your day with boldness, you shift your entire energy. You move from passive to powerful, from hesitation to intention. The world belongs to those who dare, to those who stop overthinking and start doing. And the morning is your greatest ally because it's quiet, clean, and full of potential. No distractions, no expectations, just you and your willpower. That's why the timing matters. When you do something bold early in the day, you set the tone for everything that follows. You carry that sense of victory into every conversation, every task, every challenge. You stop reacting to the world and start creating it. Boldness in the morning is like lighting a fire that burns through the rest of the day. It keeps you warm, focused, and alive. But let's be real, boldness will never feel comfortable. It will always carry resistance. That's how you know it matters. That flutter in your chest, that voice that says, not now, not ready, that's the exact sign you're standing on the edge of growth. The people who live extraordinary lives aren't fearless. They're simply unwilling to let fear decide for them. They act anyway. They feel the doubt, the anxiety, the uncertainty, and they move. And the more they move, the less power fear has, because fear feeds on hesitation and action starves it. Every morning, when you push past that voice, you are literally rewiring your brain to choose bravery over comfort. You're training your nervous system to associate risk with strength instead of danger. You're teaching your future self that courage is your default. So tomorrow morning, before the world wakes up, ask yourself, what's my bold thing today? Maybe it's taking the first step toward a dream you've delayed. Maybe it's making a decision you've avoided. Maybe it's speaking your truth when your voice shakes. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it requires bravery. Start there. Do it before you have time to talk yourself out of it. Because every time you act boldly, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Those votes add up. They compound into confidence, into momentum, into transformation. That's how greatness is built. Not in giant leaps, but in daily acts of courage that no one sees but you. So as the sun rises, rise with it. Do one thing that scares you, one thing that stretches you, one thing that reminds you of your power. Don't wait for courage, create it. Don't wait for confidence, build it. Every morning do something bold and watch how your life expands to match your bravery. Because the truth is, comfort keeps you the same, but boldness changes everything. One act before 8 a.m., that's how revolutions begin. That's how you build a life that doesn't just exist, but ignites. Every single morning, the world gives you a blank page. The question is, what will you write on it? Most people wake up and dive straight into motion without direction. They rush, they scroll, they react, they repeat. But those who rise higher, those who build lives filled with meaning and power, they begin each day with a single conscious choice, and to decide who they are before the world does. And that's the seventh key, owning your identity before the day owns you. It's not about pretending or performing, it's about remembering. Remembering that you are not your stress, not your mistakes, not your circumstances. You are the author of your own energy. You are the architect of your focus. Each morning is an invitation to reconnect with that truth before the noise of the world pulls you away. When you wake up and consciously choose who you're going to be, you shift from reaction to creation. Most people wake up and let external forces decide their mood. Traffic, emails, opinions, expectations. Their emotions rise and fall based on everything outside of their control. But you are not here to live like that. You are here to lead your energy, not to chase it. That's why mornings matter. They are your reset button. They are the moment you align your heart, your mind, and your vision before stepping into the chaos. When you start your day grounded in who you are, no situation can shake you. You stop being a product of your environment and become the creator of it. The strength of your morning becomes the stability of your life. Identity isn't found, it's built. Every morning is a brick in that construction. The way you speak to yourself, the choices you make, the habits you repeat, they all send messages to your subconscious about who you are becoming. When you hit snooze repeatedly, you tell yourself that your goals can wait. When you pick up your phone before you pick up your peace, you teach your brain that other people's lives matter more than your own. But when you wake up with intention, when you move your body, feed your mind, and sit in silence before you face the world, you're sending a completely different message. And I am disciplined. I am focused. I am in control. Every action, no matter how small, is a declaration of identity. You're not just living, you're programming yourself for greatness. The truth is, transformation is not a moment of inspiration. It's a series of decisions made consistently in the quiet hours of the morning. That's where self-trust is built. That's where resilience is born. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself before the day even begins, you strengthen your confidence. You prove to yourself that your word has weight. You begin to respect yourself in a deeper way, not because of what you've achieved, but because you've learned to show up for your own life. And when you do that long enough, you stop needing external validation. You don't chase confidence, it radiates from you. Because real power doesn't come from control over others, it comes from mastery of yourself. And here's the secret. Your morning is not just about preparing for the day, it's about preparing for your tight life. Every day you're either reinforcing an identity of strength or weakness, growth or stagnation, creation or chaos. The person who owns their morning owns their future. That's why people who master their mornings seem unstoppable. They're not luckier, they're just more aligned. They've built habits that serve their future instead of feeding their distractions. They've learned that peace is not something you stumble upon. It's something you create intentionally, one morning at a time. When you commit to that, you start to feel something shift inside you. Life begins to feel lighter, clearer, more purposeful. The world doesn't change, you do. And when you change, everything around you follows. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings and you're tempted to slip into autopilot, pause. Don't just wake up, rise. Don't just move. Decide. Take that first hour and use it as your declaration. This is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. Guard it fiercely. Protect it from the noise, from the rush, from the world's demands. Because that first hour is your power. It's where you build your identity, your discipline, your destiny. Every sunrise is a reminder that you have another chance to rewrite your story, to realign your energy, to return to yourself. So wake up tomorrow and choose you. Not your fear, not your doubt, not your excuses. You. Decide to live intentionally, boldly, and truthfully. Don't wait for motivation. Create momentum. Don't wait for change. Become the change. The world will always try to define you. But if you own your mornings, if you decide who you are before the world tells you who to be, nothing can break you. Become. Every morning you rise with purpose. You rise as the author of your own story. And that is where a powerful life truly begins.